Bet on Bears fans, another edition of the Chicago Bears podcast coming your way. Pat the Designer back at it again. A lot to get into on today's episode. A lot of information coming out of Halas that we want to hear your thoughts on as well in the comments below. Kyler Gordon possibly out for the year. We got to talk about that. Bears seem to have a goal set, and I love Ben Johnson's mindset. Have a goal set, but we also got to do this. Got to talk about that. And Caleb Williams talks about having a Jordan mindset. All that and more today's episode of the Chicago Bears podcast. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the page. Leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Today's episode is brought to you by Underdog. Make picks, win money. All right, let's start with the big story here. I think that everybody is kind of focused in on at this point, and it is around one Kyler Gordon. It seems like, and I believe Courtney was the one who asked this question, basically asking about Kyler Gordon's possible return this season. What Ben Johnson said, and I quote, "To be determined. I haven't heard over the last couple of days just the extent of it, but coming out of that one, it didn't look very good." And listen, that sucks for a number of different reasons. I mean, when you talk about the kind of player, let's start financials aside. I know everybody's going to go to the money. I know everybody's going to go to, the injury history, but like financials aside, it sucks because of how good of a player Kyler Gordon is when he's actually on the football field. I mean, you're talking about somebody who Dennis Allen used in a multitude of ways that it just felt when you had him and Brisker on the field at the same time, you really had something special there. Now, you have been able to replace that a little bit with the addition of CJ Gardner-Johnson, CJGJ as we call him here on the podcast. And I do think that that's going to be, a very apt replacement for him. You have seen CJ come in here and be somebody who has led the team in tackles. You have seen CJ come in here and be somebody who has led the team in sacks, who has been able to get the turnovers, right? Who has been a beautiful addition to this team. And I think a lot of us would hope he's somebody who the Chicago Bears are able to re-sign this season. But there was just something about having Kyler and Brisker for the short time that we had them on the field together that it just felt like that chemistry was perfect. They had their own kind of language. They had their own kind of understanding where they were able to get to the quarterback. They were able to cover really well. And it is going to be a blow to this team. Now, as far as the future moving forward for the rest of this season, the hope is that you can get them back. But if you can't, you don't feel like it's the end of the world. You still got Jalen. You've still got Nashawn. You've still got Tyreek, who hopefully is able to make his return this week. You're still in a situation where you've got CJGJ, as I mentioned. You've got KB, who's an interception leader on this team. You've got Jaquan, as I've talked about a ton here, who has been, able to lay the boom in a bunch of different ways. And so, you don't feel like you're in this world where, oh my God, how are we going to survive without him? But it is a world that sucks. And it definitely sucks coming off of the heels of you just going out there and paying him this contract. Now, the contract doesn't kick in till next season. And so I think that there is everybody's kind of gone to that, right? Like the pocket watch is crazy with some of the players, but everybody goes to, you just paid Kyler Gordon and he's this injury prone player. I don't know if I would go injury prone just yet. And the reason I say that is the one season where Kyler Gordon missed time was a broken hand. I believe he missed 4 games that season. I don't think that Kyler Gordon's going to go out there and break his hand every year. So I'm not that concerned about him being a candidate to miss a ton of games due to a broken hand, right? That season, he played 13 games. The following season on that, I'm trying to make sure I got the timeline right here. Yeah, the broken hand was in 2023. The following season on that is 2024. I believe he missed 2 games with a concussion in there. He has not been a player who has missed a multitude of games with concussion. In fact, he's played a ton of games. 14 games his first year, played in 13 games his second year, played in 15 games in his third year. Now, this season, he has been plagued by injury. And the reason that I say that is to get to this point here, something that J-Mac has talked about on the podcast. When people want to label a player injury prone, this is an injury prone player. I think that some of those, the concussions, right? We haven't seen that be a massive issue throughout his career. It's kind of been here and there. Sometimes you take big hits when you play defense. But it hasn't been something that has killed him for his career. The broken hand, that's not something that's going to continue to pop up here for Kyler Gordon. Coming into this season, J-Mac talked about how watch out for guys with soft tissue injuries because you're being asked to do a lot more. You're being asked to do things differently. You're being pushed harder. You're being pushed further. It is why we are sitting at 9 wins right now. But think about all the soft tissue injuries that we've dealt with this season. Tremaine Edmonds dealing with one. TJ Edwards dealt with one the entire year. Grady Jarrett has dealt with it. Wow, I went back with a Tevin Jenkins on that one, didn't I? Darnell Wright has dealt with it. There's been a multitude of guys who have dealt with soft tissue injuries this year, and I think that it is more because of the change. J-Mac talked about how when he was on the field, going from Dick Duran to Lovie Smith, right? You had to finish plays out. If there was an interception thrown, with Dick Duran, that's tough. We run back to the huddle, we call another play, we get back into it. With Lovie Smith, no, you got to run to the other side of the field. You got to chase that down. Heck, if there's a reception, you need to be running to the other side of the field because in a game, I need you to be making a block. I think that you're seeing a lot of that. And remember, those years we saw Brian Urlacher, hamstring, Lance Briggs, hamstring, Olin Kreutz, I think he had a back issue. J-Mac had a hamstring that year. Thomas Jones dealing with a hamstring that year. So you're talking about the intensity, the pressure being ramped up, and guys' bodies weren't prepared for that because they didn't prepare it that way in the offseason. What ends up happening moving forward, where I think you can look at Kyler Gordon and say, okay, right now we're dealing with this. This sucks for this season. I need you out there. It'd be great to have you on the field. But 27, 28, 29, which he has signed, those are the ages that he has signed through here. I need you to prepare in the offseason for what we're asking you to do. You had a bunch of guys who didn't know what the ask was this offseason coming into the season, how to prepare their bodies. You had Kyler Gordon who was dealing with injury throughout training camp, right? And so it's a higher intensity, a higher ask. And I think that's why we've seen guys get so banged up this season. I would bet you, and let's wait a little bit of time, and hopefully next season, you start to see some of these soft tissue injuries start to clean themselves up. Why? Guys know how to prepare their body in the offseason. They know what kind of treatment to go through. They're getting that information from the training staff, from the coaching staff, going through the entire offseason, coming back a lot more prepared for the regular season. I would bet you the soft tissue injuries start to take a dip in the right direction heading into next year. And I would include Kyler Gordon in that. Now, if we get in the next season and we're still having this conversation, right, that's a tough place for you to be. You would assume that then you need to make a move. You need to probably try and find somebody else to take that spot, or maybe you have somebody else already in place that is taking that spot, because what you're getting in CJ Gardner-Johnson right now has been absolutely phenomenal. Continued production out of him, and him coming back, right? I mean, since he's been back here, you are talking about a guy right now who has where am I looking at? He's got a forced fumble already on the season. He's got an interception already on the season. He's only played in 6 games here. He's got 33 combined tackles on the season already, 4 tackles for loss, 5 QB hits. Where's his sack number at? 3 sacks on the season, right? So you have somebody who is able to replace that production, so you don't feel like you're in a back to the wall situation. Now the question is going to become, is that somebody who you want to see replace him long term? We'll have that conversation when we get there, but unfortunately, it does seem like it's going to be the end of the year for Kyler Gordon here. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. Do you feel like this is going to be a big blow to the team moving forward, or do you feel like it's just business as usual? It could be very much just business as usual. Let me know how, like I said, how you guys feel in the comments below. Now, I want to get into this. I thought this was very interesting from Ben Johnson today when talking about goals for the season. He was asked about, he's heard, I believe Pat Finley asked this question. There have been has been a lot of talk about 11 wins this year. And he asked them essentially, do you guys go into meetings and talk about how many wins it's going to take you to get into the playoffs? And I love this answer from Ben Johnson. I have not heard a coach answer a question like this I don't even know. Maybe Fox, but he was never in a playoff situation. Like maybe Trestman. Now he was a moron at the. Dang it, is back to love you again. Anyway, his quote here, he said, "We have goals and we know what's out in front of us. And so it's just that awareness that every game matters. Every game matters. That's where this week you go from an emotional rivalry game like we just played this week to a equally important, like we just played this week is equally important. We need this win. We desperately need this win." So acknowledging, listen, there's probably somewhere in that building, or there was some point in training camp where Ben Johnson said 11 wins is what our goal is. That's how we get into the playoffs. If we get 11 wins, we put ourselves into a great position. Makes sense, except the season plays out. And then all of a sudden you're in a situation possibly now where 11 wins and you might not make the playoffs. It might take 12 wins for you to get in. But 11 wins gives you at least this feeling of confidence that, hey, we did as much as we could with the talent that we had to try and get in to this playoff round, to the playoffs this season. But this game versus the Cleveland Browns is incredibly important. This game this week versus a team that, I'll be honest with you, you should feel confident going in. The Browns have lost multiple pieces on the offensive side. That should spell advantage defense in some ways, I guess, here. Although we haven't seen a ton of advantage defense situations, you have been able to get the best of some solid defenses over the last couple of weeks. Second half versus Green Bay, your offense looked really on point. I thought that what you did versus Pittsburgh as well, you were able to get after them. So like you kind of look at these situations and say, okay, offensively, Philly, of course, what you did versus Philly, you got to throw that in there as well. So you say offensively, we should be able to go to war. Not to say that this defense is not good. Hey, listen, Ben Johnson talked about it. I've said it a ton. They're a top 3 defense in the NFL. I think that they are a problem when you talk about them on a consistent basis. But no matter what, it does feel like you're in a world where, while this is our goal, 11 wins, probably the goal. You feel good if you get 11 wins. Every single one of these games, the title must win should go out the window. Every single game that Ben Johnson coaches, he's going in with the mindset of it's a must-win game. What I love about that is you don't play down to your competition. You don't play down to your opponent. You don't sit there and go through the weeks and say, oh, well, you know, I know that, like how people are talking this week. I know the Browns are a bad team, but they're not as bad as their record says. Have you seen them offensively? Yes, they are. You start to go through that Brown schedule. This is a game where it shouldn't be playing down to the competition. It should be, we are the better offense. We are better at running the football. We have the better quarterback. We have the better receiving core. We have the better offensive line, and we should be able to go in there and absolutely dominate at home versus the Cleveland Browns. And so I love that the mindset is, this is not just we need this win. We desperately need this win. We have to have this win. It feels like a must-win game, like every single game should. But this is one where if you come out of here and you're able to find a second win versus the Green Bay Packers, you feel like you're able to walk a little bit bigger, walk a little bit tougher, as me and J-Mac have talked about, right? That Conor McGregor walk, just walking around, arms flailing, you know what I mean? Because you're confident. Like that, to me, I think right now is what I love about, you know, one of the things I should say that I love about having Ben Johnson as a head coach is he's not taking any of these guys lightly. He's not taking going into a game and not taking a team seriously, seeing the flaws that they have and saying we're not worried about that. He's saying let's go pedal to the metal. And it's what his mindset was in Detroit. It's what his mindset should be and probably will be here. It's not about go out there and put up 15, 20 points. It's about go out there and put up 30 plus every single time. Now, we haven't been able to do that a ton, but I just feel like that's why you see a goal. You have to set a goal. There has to be a threshold for you to hit, right? There has to be some kind of number for you to try and attain. But that doesn't mean that you slow down at any point. It feels like that is the mindset that we are getting here from Ben Johnson. When you talk about going into every week like it is a playoff situation, playoff scenario, I love that. I love that. Especially with where the team is now. You're trending in the right direction. You're playing some really good football. You're finding your footing. But this is a team where you can go in, and where's the conversation really been? Listen, the defense has not played well. The defense is what it is, right? You're not going to improve the defensive line at all. You're not going to go out there and all of a sudden change up your scheme, change your DBs. You're not getting healthier at the linebacker position. Like, those things aren't happening at any time this year. So we need to improve on where we have our full slate and where we should be full steam ahead. This is a great game for this offense to try and improve, to try and figure it out, versus a not good, great defense. We all understand this is a top 3 defense in football, but they spend so much time on the field that you're able to get the best of them. To me, this is one of those games where you say, this is how we get this offense right heading into the Packer game. You want to put on a show? Let's go put on a show versus the Browns and figure some things out, gain some confidence. You need your quarterback to get confidence, and getting confidence versus one of the best pass rushers in football, I think, is going to be massive for this team moving forward. And hopefully, you come out of this with a not just a win, but a dominant win. And I think that's the mindset that Ben Johnson is putting forth. And that, to me, that's just amazing to see. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. How do you like the fact that Ben Johnson is coming with this goal of going out there? Yes, there's an 11-win goal more than likely in place. He didn't confirm it, but he said we have goals. But also, this is a desperately important game. Like, I just love that terminology. To me, I think that is something that we have not heard a coach speak like that in a very, very long time. Before we get into this final topic about Caleb Williams, kind of coming with a little bit of a Michael Jordan mindset here, which I do like because I think it's going to have to suit you very well. And I think it's one of those things where right now, if you are a Bears fan kind of on the edge of where the quarterback is, you like to hear this mindset out of him, which is why it feels like we're starting to see him get a lot better here moving forward. But before we do that, we got to talk about our underdog playlist. And y'all know, to me, I always feel like Ben Johnson, when somebody is not involved enough, tries to correct. And whether you feel like I feel where, I like the game plan that the Bears went into that Packers game with. I thought it was the game plan that made the most amount of sense, and you were able to execute it, unfortunately, only in the second half. I think that this is now a great opportunity because explosive plays are gotten on this Cleveland Browns team. I think that this is a great opportunity for the Bears to go into this game and get DJ Moore a ton of targets. And so when I'm looking at Underdog, I'm looking at DJ Moore. Now, the target initially, when you go into the app, is set at 2.5. I feel like he's going to get more than that. In fact, I feel like he's going to get much more than that. I could see a 6 target day for DJ, or I could see a 7 to 8 target day, 6 receptions for DJ Moore. And so I'm going to go DJ Moore higher than 4.5 receptions on the day. That's right, a 5 reception day. Pat, you're out of your mind. I'm telling you, if we don't see Rome Odunze back on this field, this is going to be a big day for DJ Moore. And what you can do, you can boost that and get now times 2.05 odds on that deal. So DJ Moore higher than 4.5 receptions. I think it's a 5 reception day for DJ Moore. A couple of touchdowns yet again. Let's lock that back in, and everybody calm down and breathe on the DJ Moore front. Remember that you guys can get tapped in with Underdog today. Download the app and sign up with the promo code CBP to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code CBP. Underdog, make picks, win money. EOQ the disclaimer. Must be 18 years or older, 19 or older in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 or older in Colorado for some games, 21 or over in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Your roof's got more layers than a conspiracy podcast.
Is that a sandwich wrapper?
Ah, yes. Vintage 1988. It really builds character.
Avondale Roofing. Inspect smarter, dig deeper, and get to the core of your roof's health.
Welcome back into the Chicago Bears podcast. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love as always, man. Today's episode also brought to you by the Advantage Dealer Group. Find your next Chevy, Toyota, or Acura and drive off in under 60 minutes so they'll make your first car payment. Also brought to you by the Hard Rock Casino in Northern Indiana. Las Vegas style gaming, just 30 minutes from Soldier Field, exit 6, right off I-80 94. All right, let's finish it out with this because I thought that this was a really, really good quote from Caleb Williams on his process of how to move on after how that game ended. He was asked, how do you move on from a tough loss like that? And here's his quote. He said, "There's not another moment, another player, another situation. In these moments, I feel like the ball should be in my hand." That's how I felt as a kid. That's how I still feel today. That's how I felt on Sunday in that moment. And so feel great. It kind of goes to what Michael Jordan used to say, where he missed how many game winners, and Kobe Bryant used to say when he took the game winner versus the Jazz and all of them back then. It's like you're going to take those shots, and that's the type of mindset I have, that I'll take those shots and I'll roll with the punches if I do miss. That's what happens, and so you move on from it. And when the moment comes up again, I think 9 out of 10, I'll hit that. That's my mentality. That's how I feel about it. Just have to give Cole a better ball in that moment. But other than that, roll with the punches if it doesn't go your way. I love that. I love that. Because he is still the guy who leads the NFL in most comebacks by a quarterback in the fourth quarter. He is still the guy who we've seen multiple times this season take his team down the field, put them in a position to win the game, or has won the game for them. He is the guy who we have seen all year be able to win the game more times than not. And so while that was a tough moment, it was a bad underthrow, and it's one that he has to bounce back from. I love the fact that he's like, listen, it is what it is. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get that one. We get another shot at these guys. Clean slate. Let's go out here and play good football versus the Cleveland Browns. Let's go out here and play 4 quarters of elite football versus the Cleveland Browns so that we can start to figure out how to get 4 quarters of this in. That's the mindset that you have to have in this job. There's going to be bad games. You know who had bad games? Tom Brady. You know who had bad games? 44-year-old coming back to the league, Phillip Rivers. You know who had bad games? Eli Manning, Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, Pat Mahomes was having some bad games this year. You want to talk about guys who have bad games? Everyone has bad games. Josh Allen has had multiple bad games this season. Players have bad games. Players have bad moments. Players have moments where, in those moments where you feel the most confident about it, be honest, Bears fans, when you saw them driving down the field, were you not like, you've got it? This is what we've seen all season. Here we go. Boom. We're going to finally do this again one more time. 1-score game. Let's go for the win here, baby. This is what this team does. Dang it. Sometimes it doesn't work in your favor. Would I rather blow a team out? Would I rather go out there and dominate a team? 100%. But more times than not, in the playoffs, when you get into divisional games, you're going to be playing in close games. And I would rather have the quarterback that has the mindset and has the confidence to say, you know what? Yeah, I did miss that versus you last time. I won't miss it this time. Don't give me another shot at it. Don't give me another chance. Don't give me another opportunity. Because here's the thing. That's what we used to see from Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers would take a shot, ball gets deflected, some gets knocked away. Oh my God, they blew it away. What is that? Oh, here it go. What's that flag on? He gets another chance at this? Okay, we just got to stop him one more time. Let's go. We got to stop him one more time. We didn't stop him. Aaron Rodgers was that. Tom Brady was that. Pat Mahomes has been that. Josh Allen has been that. Be the guy who teams fear giving another opportunity to. Don't be the guy that fears getting the opportunity. And Caleb Williams has not proven to be the guy that fears getting the opportunity. I love that about this young man, and I think it's going to be something massive that he's able to take with him throughout his career. Hopefully, we see a lot more from Caleb in the successful situation. And to be honest with you, hopefully you just go out there and you beat teams 4 quarters, and we continue to not be in close game situations. But I feel very confident about where this team is at. I feel very confident about where Caleb Williams is at. And as we head into the rest of the season, I feel confident about the pairing of him and Ben Johnson together. And so I love the fact that this young man has that Michael Jordan mentality. Let's hope that Ben Johnson is his Phil Jackson. But hey, let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. I'll be down to talk with you guys as well. Do you feel like Caleb Williams exhibiting that, if you want to call it Mamba mentality, that Jordan mentality, the Jordan rules, if you, whatever you want to call it, do you like that in this young man? Or do you feel like it's all words, it doesn't mean anything, even though we've seen him do it quite a bit? Excuse me. But hey, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. As always, hit that like button, subscribe to the page. It's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Bears fans. Better and one love. We'll be back tomorrow with Courtney Cronin live up at Halas. Peace.